Hi, Big Dreamers. It's Eva Cartman, the host of the Dream Big podcast show, the place to go to learn, laugh, and grow. Today, I'm going to share the most important conversation you will ever have. Do you want to know who that conversation will be with? You're about to find out. This is episode 149, Big Dreamers, and it's time to dream big. My name is Eva Cartman. I'm part of a squad of super kids that are here to change the world. We don't believe you need to be adults to have big goals and start working towards your dreams. We believe age is just a number, and you're never too young to make a difference. We may be young, but we are not naive. We understand that achieving our big dreams will not be easy. It will take incredible dedication, hard work, and yes, massive action. There will be ups and downs, but we embrace the challenges and relish pushing outside of our comfort zone because this is how we grow. They may not teach us these concepts in our school textbooks, but we are smart enough to know that the tools and tactics to achieve our big dreams are out there, and we are willing to do the work to seek out these skills and master them because we know that our future depends on it. We are the Big Dreamers, and it's time to dream big. My dad recently read a book called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. David had an incredibly tough childhood and was going down a very dangerous path in life. Ultimately, he defied all odds, became an active Navy SEAL, and then later a world-class ultra-athlete and world record holder, which we'll get into in a minute. Now, unfortunately, I can't recommend the book for our younger Big Dreamers, as it certainly is not intended for kids, but my dad shared an important lesson with me that I'd love to share with you. When you are an ultra-endurance athlete like David Goggins, you find yourself in situations where most people would quit. Let's face it, most people would not choose to even enter a race like Badwater, which is a 135-mile foot race that starts in California's Death Valley, 279 feet below sea level, and one of the hottest places on Earth, and ends at the trailhead of Mount Whitney, an elevation of 8,360 feet. To give you some perspective, a marathon, which is the longest race most people would dare try, is 26.2 miles. This race is 135 miles and in very dangerous conditions. Needless to say, when you are doing a race like that, there are times when your body does not want to keep on going. You want to quit. David shared that when you are out of the race all alone and start to hit a wall, whether you continue or quit, all comes down to your self-talk. In other words, the conversation you are having with yourself inside your head. That, Big Dreamers, is the most important conversation you'll ever have. How do you talk to yourself? Do you beat yourself up? Do you tell yourself that you can't do something often? When you tell yourself you're not capable of doing something, what do you think the chances are that you'll do it? And what do you do when you find yourself in an uncomfortable situation? If you are suffering, oftentimes the easiest way out is to quit. When David is on mile 65 of a 135-mile race and his legs feel like jello, his feet bleeding from blisters, what makes him keep going? If he would just quit, then the race organizers would take him off the course and he would not have to continue battering his body. So the key, as David explains it, when you are having that conversation in your mind, is to be able to talk yourself into keep on moving rather than quitting. The best way to do that is rather than to think about the uncomfortable feelings you are having in that moment, think about all the hard work you put in to even be in that moment. For David, rather than thinking about the pain he's feeling, at mile 65, he looked back at the 2,000 plus miles he had been training, waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning to get a long run in before work. Thinking about all that time and dedication inspired him to keep on moving. Now, if you're saying to yourself, Eva, this is great, but I don't run 100 plus mile races. Why does that apply to me? Well, first off, neither do I. But you can still use this strategy whenever that voice in your head starts telling you to give up. Here's a few examples I can give from my own life. As I've mentioned before, I've done a number of Spartan Kids races. We are huge fans of Joe DeSena, the founder of Spartan, who has been on the podcast twice, as well as the Spartan races. For those who are not familiar, the Spartan races are not your typical road race. The race contains obstacles and challenges throughout, from jumping over retaining walls, climbing up ropes, going through tunnels and mud pits. The last Spartan race I did was a competitive one, and on the second lap, I was getting super tired. The race was in Big Bear, and there were very steep mountains, and my mind started telling me to stop. But then I remembered all the training I had done for the race. My dad and I got up before school many mornings and went running together. We even created an obstacle course in our own yard, which makes me smile just to think about it. I had not worked so hard to get there and give up. So I kept on moving. More recently, I delivered a 20-minute speech to a large group of students in Oklahoma during a summer leadership camp put on by an amazing organization called LoveWorks. If you didn't catch the last episode with LoveWorks founder Michael Hirsch, you can check that out at dreambigpodcast.com/148 and learn more about my experience. Since that was my first speaking engagement, my parents made sure I practiced hours upon hours so that I felt confident about the content before I went on stage. This is an important part. It's not just enough to have positive self-talk. If I just kept on telling myself that I was going to do great but never practiced my speech, then I would have gone on stage and stumbled through it, or even worse, quit and run off the stage. Just like you can lie to other people, you can lie to yourself. But because I had practiced so much and had done the speech countless times on my own without issues, my self-talk was not only positive, but I was able to recall as I went on stage all the time we had spent preparing for that moment, and I was able to go out there and deliver for the students. So, what can you take away from David Goggins' teachings? 1, the most important conversation you'll ever have is with yourself, your self-talk. We all need to realize this and pay more attention to those conversations. 2, when you do find yourself in an uncomfortable situation, and if you are a big dreamer, you will, because we understand that you must push outside of your comfort zone to grow, then one of the ways to win the argument inside your brain as to whether you should continue or quit is to take a trip down memory lane. Think about all the hours upon hours that you put in to get to that moment. Rather than focusing on the uncomfortable feelings or even pain that you're feeling at the precise moment, go back and think about all the hard work and all the dedication it took to get you there. That will inspire you to keep on going even if you are uncomfortable. I really love that advice and plan to implement it more often, especially when I'm running future Spartan races and I'm getting exhausted. Can you see how this advice would be helpful? If so, please tell your friends and family about the Dream Big Podcast. You can point them to dreambigpodcast.com/149 for this episode's show notes. If everyone listening would just tell one person about the podcast, that would get our show in front of so many new big dreamers, which I would forever be grateful for. If you are enjoying the podcast, please take a moment to leave us a review on iTunes at dreambigpodcast.com/iTunes. We do read your reviews, and it helps us get in front of so many more big dreamers, which is my mission. If you would like to be a part of the beta of the Dream Big Academy and get my free Confidence Secrets course, you can do that at dreambigpodcast.com/beta. In this free Confidence Secrets course, you'll get over 1 hour of me teaching you about how to develop your superpower of self-belief. If you are a younger big dreamer listening to this, please ask your parents to help you get it. Again, it's completely free for a limited time, so please take advantage and get the course while you still can at dreambigpodcast.com/beta. That's all the announcements for today. As always, thank you so much for tuning in to the Dream Big Podcast. This is Eva Cartman reminding you that you have unlimited potential. Your dreams are not optional, you need to make them essential. So take massive action to turn those big dreams into reality. Live with passion the way life was meant to be. See you next episode. Bye.